And then Ross is like, "Can we be friends again?" And he says, "Yeah." And they go inside, and that's it.
Oh, they said the name of the show.
Can we be friends again?
That's the whole.
And then everyone goes. The show's terrible.
Yeah, really not a fan.
Terrible show.
Of the show, like at all.
They should cancel it.
Friends.
You say that, but they're bringing it back on Netflix.
Oh, fuck me.
Swear to God.
God.
Gotta Google it. I've been telling a lot of people fake news lately. So let me double check real quick.
It's like Fuller House.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Girl Meets World.
Did you watch any of Fuller House?
Fuller House?
Yes.
I watched bits of 1 or 2 episodes, but it just... No, I didn't get into it. I questioned why I watched Full House when I was younger.
Yeah.
I just like Friends and like the only show that I could probably watch today that I watched when I was younger is Seinfeld. Just
Love
because
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's like a super good comedian, you know, and all of the actors are great. But I couldn't watch Friends again. I couldn't watch Fuller House and, you know, these sequel shows, Girl Meets World or anything like that. I couldn't invest the time in it. So
yeah, Fuller House was terrible. The first episode had 2 musical numbers, like in the middle of the episode. It's terrible. Was it true?
April Fool's Day.
Oh yeah.
I just saw it. I pulled up the article and I was like, oh, here we go. And then I just saw the tagline, April Fool's Day, Friends, Step by Step, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I say we trade all of those in for a reboot of Dinosaurs.
yeah.
Dude, I would be in. Can we still get the Jim Henson Company to do the public work?
Absolutely. Yep.
Because every time they open that fucking fridge, I wanted to shit myself.
It's pretty good.
Dude, it's rough, is what it is. Every time, man. And they were all just like,
Well, and they're already involved on Netflix because they're doing The Dark Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
I'm actually pretty excited for that.
Super.
I'm
excited.
actually really glad that we went here, because today's topic is all about fictional characters that we want to come to real life.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the start of the podcast.
Welcome
to Hypothetically Speaking. I'm Tyler Malter. This is
Luke Perry.
Sean Murphy, Luke Perry as Sean Murphy, and
John Reed.
And we are talking about fictional characters, and it's a perfect segue because the monsters in the fridge of dinosaurs is what I want to come to life.
All right. So let me give the rules real quick.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is really important to why I chose them of everyone. So go for the rules.
All right. So the true question is if any fictional character could come to reality, be a part of our lives, who would it be? And it's important because they come with all their baggage. They come with their powers, their abilities. If they're an inanimate object that happens to be alive, then we just accept that sort of thing as being alive. Like if it were meat wad and it's like a wad of meat that talks and rolls around, it does that thing. But it is now maybe not to everybody's awareness. Like they may not know what that character is, but those are all the important things,
right,
to consider.
Obviously, I'm trying to overthink this as much as possible.
Yes.
With characters like Batman,
mm-hmm.
his superpower is money. Does he come as wealthy from his world?
Like he'd have to have his business.
Right, but does he come with his standing bank account?
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Right. So it doesn't come with. You don't get Alfred.
No.
You don't get Wayne Industries or anything or whatever it's called. What's it called?
Enterprise.
Wayne
Enterprise.
Yeah.
So you don't get any of the cool shit. You just get Batman, who's a decent detective, and all of his money.
Sure. You could ask for Batman, in which case he would have like
all of his gadgets.
But if you said Bruce Wayne, he'd have to have all of his money like in his hands.
Oh, he doesn't appear with a bank account?
Well, his bank account would be under this name that doesn't exist in this world. He exists now, but his money would not exist.
This is why I really thought hard. Now, another thing, do like inseparable pairs count?
Like the Wonder Twins?
Separated.
Like Wonder Twins or Ice Climbers.
Cat Dog.
Cat
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog does because it's a singular being.
Two entities, but one. No, yeah, it's one fiction. It's a fictional character.
Oh man, so I could potentially be splitting up.
Yeah.
Like a married couple if I wanted like Roseanne and her husband.
Jeez, I hope you didn't pick that. But I like the idea of you bringing a Wonder Twin who now has no powers.
Yeah, you can't do the ring.
You cannot do the ring.
That's pretty
So
good.
they were just walking around trying to convince everybody that they're like,
No, seriously. In my old life, I was awesome.
I touch these rings together and I can become a walrus.
Yeah,
And you're like, okay.
I was the bucket, guys. I'm important.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was all of the questions that I'd come up with. Just to clarify.
For the rules.
Yeah, before we started, that
Sure.
was the main catch was the Batman one.
Yeah.
Does he come with his money? That really is his superpower. I guess another one is like I assume knowledge would be a thing that is kept. That's actually relevant, not a joke. But the Flash gets his power from the Speed Force. So if he comes with his powers, he'd have to have the Speed Force.
He can still move real fast.
He can move real fast, but can he go back in time and all?
Sure.
That's part of his powers.
Yes.
Okay. Can he vibrate through walls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are his rules, like the rules of wherever they come from, because like some creatures like couldn't exist.
Sure.
So like that wouldn't be very fair.
Like a dinosaur.
Right. Yeah. Would have a tough time.
Right.
So like we like to think that they have everything they need to exist.
Sure. Okay.
So.
Well, now that we've clarified.
Sure.
Who would like to go first?
Holy shit! I'm scared of what everybody else's choice was.
Why?
Because
it's really simple.
I feel like it was.
Mine's Donald Trump.
Holy shit!
That's fictional. He's just from our nightmares, so it works.
Well, I want to wake up from that one. I'm tired of
What's
this
what is one of your guys' choices? I'd like to go middle for the record.
You like to go middle?
Yeah. I guess I'll go first. I definitely overthought this one.
Okay.
Like to an extreme degree. I kept thinking about crazy literary, like famous literary characters, like what I think his name, Captain Nemo from like 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and like all the wonderful traits that guy has. Like, man, wouldn't it be nice if someone
Just
like
being
that
a
existed?
total dick.
Right? Yeah.
That dude sucks. Yeah. Okay.
And then I thought, no, that's just too dumb, right? So then I asked my girlfriend about it, and she's like, well, think about all the characters that you like and all the shows that you watch. And so I thought about it, and I realized I like a lot of anti-heroes, like Vegeta, the Punisher, the kind of characters that are out for world domination at
You're
one point or
wearing
another.
like a symbiote Spider-Man shirt right now.
Yeah.
So Venom is like
he's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to bring anyone to life that's going to potentially kill me,
Sure.
So
How selfless of you.
So I made it super simple, and I picked Superman.
Okay.
And
I fucking called it.
Yeah,
I want
I
everyone to know. I was talking about this with my girlfriend in the car today, and I was like, here's the deal. John's gonna pick Superman. I don't want to go the same route of like getting a superhero, so I'm trying to lean away from that. Here's my arguments I'm gonna have against Superman when John starts talking about it.
Well, I did. I tried really hard not to pick a superhero like from a comic and stuff like that. But I just couldn't think of anybody. Like I watch a lot of like shows that have. I mean, Jamie Lannister. I'm seriously, bring him into the world. So like I watch a lot of shows where the characters like wouldn't do anything for me, but if Superman were to come to life, I could be his Jimmy Olsen. Think about this. I could ask Superman to take me into the sky and fly me around, let me free fall like for 5 seconds, then swoop in and catch me like he catches Lois.
Hold on a second. What's your angle? What's your angle to be significant enough? To
Completely selfish reasons.
And here is where I was like, Mika, here's what I'm gonna say. Like, why would Superman have anything to do with you just because you?
I would be the one that brought him here.
Yeah, that's a hell of a complex. That's Lex Luthor.
The worst part about it is you're bringing Superman from a world where every day he has something to deal with in all of these supervillains, and you're plopping him in a world where there's not any real supervillains, and he's going to be bored as fuck. And he's like, I can survive in space, I'm leaving. And he just books it.
We got to make life interesting for the Man of Steel.
Watch Superman, I'm going to jump off this building.
I think what's terrifying is we are bringing Superman to the world with no kryptonite. So like he is a man of
and no magic.
That's
and
right.
those are like the two things that you
right.
can stop Superman with.
So
and there's not even other Kryptonians that can fight him.
That's right. Unless David Blaine can like figure his shit out.
It would definitely be one of those situations where I could talk him into letting me be the sidekick, Like Superman doesn't need a sidekick.
Really?
But I could, yeah. It would be like, when a father tells his kid, like, I brought you into this world, I could take you out. Mm-hmm. I'd probably threaten him with something like that. Like, look, man, I brought you here. You know, imagine what I could do with you to get rid of you.
And then
you
he just crushes
Yeah,
you.
no. Well, no, he would be like, you know what? You're right. You're right. Because he's got high levels of morality, man.
Wait, what you're doing isn't moral.
He just. Well, I'm not.
You're
Superman.
blackmailing him for coming into our world.
I'm not.
Yeah, doesn't that sort of seem like one of the existing Superman like conversations of like he owes the world to use his powers to protect us?
Even better, you're bringing Superman into the like Zack Snyder Man of Steel world without all of the villains.
But imagine
so everything
he could star in his own movie and not need any of the CGI. Think about that.
That's neat.
I see this turning out with you end up being a supervillain.
Yeah,
like you're so
someone
pissed
would
off.
have to be.
You're so pissed off that Superman won't
be my friend.
Be your friend. That you've got this complex about how you brought Superman into the world, and you will become like.
I'm like in the bathroom, like scraping off my tattoo. Like I hate him.
Yeah, dude. Like
that's right.
Half of it's scarred. I'm like a super like villain at that point.
It's perfect that the Man of Steel universe is like this really grounded, realistic one because it would turn into like he's a god, he's mean, he enslaves the entire planet because he's bored. Whatever the case may be, theoretically, he'd have his same morals. It's not like jumping through a portal would change the way Superman thinks. But so as long as it didn't, then you'd still have people like Lex Luthor and Batman in Batman v Superman movie that are like, this guy's too powerful, we have to find a way to stop him. And then all the governments are like, we gotta stop this dude just because he is too strong.
See, and I think that we end up with a Batman. I think we end up with some rich dude who's like, this cannot happen.
Yep.
And he's not like my parents died and I have a lot of money, but he is like, there needs to be somebody who
Bill Gates has invested billions.
That's right.
Dude, something
finding
like
out the secret
that.
to Superman.
No. It's Zuckerberg.
1000%.
It's got to be Zuckerberg.
Can you imagine Zuckerberg running around in a bat suit?
It's going to be Zuckerberg.
Yes. Yes,
you
I can.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
Old Zucker.
So no, I think that Superman's a good choice.
I'm doing it totally for selfish reasons. Like, what do I get out of it? I don't care about anybody else.
Which is perfect because that's the same route I took.
Jeez.
Looking at our past episode when we had a day that we could relive and do whatever we want, that is like. My whole vision in this hypothetical is how can it benefit me? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking I need someone with like some cool powers that they can bring over to us. So my choices came down like I thought about the genie from Aladdin, and then I get my 3 wishes, you know, like, and I was really honing in on that.
God, what a great idea.
And then what are my 3 wishes? And I could go into this whole spiel about it. And then I was like, no, that's good podcasting. Let's go somewhere else. So then I started thinking Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents.
But he doesn't get his godparents.
Yes, he does.
No.
Yes.
Why?
Because his powers are his godparents.
But those are different people. Those are different fictional characters.
He is a child.
I'm sorry.
Who has
I'm begging the gavel.
He's a child with godparents.
Yeah, but no, the godparents are another character.
It doesn't matter. He still gets his wishes.
No, I like
infinite
to think
wishes. That's his power.
It's Timmy Turner who thinks his godparents are there. And so he's like trying to do this shit.
So I was thinking about it, and I was like, Timmy Turner, he's a 10-year-old boy with these godparents, and I can manipulate the shit out of him to like be my best friend and give me everything I've ever wanted, right?
You sound like a bad character in the show again.
Yeah,
Both of you were villains.
I know. So but I was like, that's kind of a bad thing to do. Maybe I won't do that. So then I went to the next person, which is Doc Brown, a semi-senile old man.
That's my choice.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to stop that.
That's my fucking choice.
I'll stop it. Okay.
You son of a bitch!
So, that's perfect. I'm
you
glad.
Son of a bitch!
Because I moved on from him.
Good.
So I won't go into it.
Son of a bitch.
So
you were going to be mean to my Brown.
Oh, he's senile. If Marty McFly could fucking do it, and he's not even that cool.
No, I need a new character.
No, stick with Doc Brown because I'm not going to talk about it. So then I was like, all right, I figured it out. I want Iron Man.
That was my second choice.
So Tony Stark,
but he doesn't have his money.
He doesn't need his money because he has this brilliance, and that's why I chose him.
Yeah.
Because they in the movie put him in a cave. And he was able to MacGyver an entire Iron Man suit. Like, this dude is resourceful, and he's smart as fuck. And on top of all of that, he gave his best friend, Rhodes, an Iron Man suit. So just like John, all I gotta do is give him booze because he's an alcoholic and he becomes dependent on me as his booze supplier. And I just hone in on that horrible, horrible fact that he has. And I provide all the alcohol he needs. And in return, he gets drunk and lets me fly around in his Iron Man suit. And then he and I team up together and start fighting bad guys. And he's drunk and I have to like pull him out of parties and stuff. But most importantly, I'm there through it all. And then when he sobers up, he and I can take over the world together.
You guys are monsters.
How?
I thought Tony Stark. That was my first choice because, again, of his brilliance. My thought, honest to God, was because I thought he could do a lot of great things for the world.
Yeah.
And I picked him for his selflessness, but then I decided that I wouldn't because of his alcoholism and how vain he is. And I thought that more likely than not, he would either destroy himself or the people around him.
Sure.
So I was like, no way.
But
Can't do it.
in contrast of that, I could be the one to do the good.
So this is why we need Superman in the world. Why I need Superman in the world. Because when Tyler tries to take over the world with Iron Man, we're gonna be there to stop him.
No, like
right.
The thing with Iron Man is he makes me a suit, and together we better the world and him. Because I pull him away from this alcoholism. But I get him really dependent, like super fucking dependent first. And then together we heal everyone. And we eventually take over the entire planet. And luckily I have age on my side. Because Tony Stark's around 40 or so.
And your liver.
And my liver. So Tony Stark dies a tragic death that isn't in any way caused by me, most likely, but probably not. Then I rule the world single-handedly with my army of Iron Man suits.
You have to give one to Jeff Bridges.
No.
But he had one.
Yeah, we've seen how that turned out.
You don't think you'll get bored and want to, like, maybe toss somebody a suit so that you have somebody to fight?
Like, hang out with Superman and we'll both be, like, sad buddies together.
Like, realistically, we could stop.
Superman would destroy Iron Man.
Well, you see, Iron Man and Superman would be friends, and then Tyler and I can
Why
go
would
back
they
to
be
being
friends?
Well, because they're both, you know, super,
right? Do our guys come into the same world together?
Yes, sure,
Yeah,
why not?
absolutely.
So all three of our dudes are just dropped in our place.
And I just changed my mind on who I'm picking.
So when
Fuck
Superman
you,
and
bitches.
Tony Stark become best friends, it would be like that scene where Tyler's on the bridge crying because he's not friends with Tony Stark, and I come up to him and I sit down next to him and I give him like a can of soda and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, it happened to you too, huh?" And then Tyler and I are friends again. And
Don't
it all
you
comes full
hate
circle.
those superheroes like a lot? Don't you want them to kind of die?
Yeah, we brought
Follow
them
me,
here.
pal.
Jeez.
And then we go on a superhero murdering spree.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Why not? Why not? If you guys with the
Bum
way
$50
that,
to get my tattoo removed.
with the way you guys win, I'm surprised you didn't just go all in and pick like Dr. Manhattan.
Oh man, that's a really good one.
Like Dr. Manhattan,
He would like
literally made anything
That's
out of anything.
with his like poetic riddles, he would talk me into killing myself or vaporizing me, and then just destroy everything.
yeah,
just,
man, that's
just saying though, like
it's pretty good.
For what you guys want, Dr. Manhattan could turn you into a superhero.
Yeah, but he wouldn't.
Would he?
No,
You just
I don't think he would.
You could take your same Tony Stark route and get him drunk.
I would have to find a way to.
Dr. Manhattan can't get drunk.
I bet he can.
No, I don't think he can.
Oh man.
That may be canon, or I may be making it up.
What a
We'll never
bummer.
know.
What a bummer.
So yeah, that is the path that I take. I get Tony Stark, I get him hammered, and I make him build me suits.
God.
And then we take over the world.
You just went a whole different direction.
Good.
So
We could bring Dr. Manhattan in and just have him do to us with the hands he did in the movie, you know?
Yeah.
I just want like 12 hands all over me, just rubbing me, and be like,
Sure.
"Oh, it's so great."
Yeah, if Dr. Manhattan were gay.
Yeah.
Is there a gay version of Dr.
I
Manhattan?
don't think Dr. Manhattan really had a gender at that point. Like
I just have to talk him into
He
it.
had a floppy blue dick.
he did have a big dick.
He
you're
had
right.
a physical gender. Whether it was an emotional gender, I don't know. But at one point he had a big floppy blue dick. if I recall correctly. He made himself the size of a building and walked around
Fucking
with his
corn
dick
dog
the
hanging
size of
between
a
his legs.
semi-truck. Not that I wanted to detract the conversation to dick jokes,
Yeah.
but here we are.
Sure.
So,
No.
what is your choice, Shawn?
Galactus.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw some fun stuff at you, but I want to hear your explanation first. Go for it. Where?
No, I don't want Galactus.
Oh, come on!
I just wanted to.
I was like, how do you survive in space? Are you one of his heralds? What do you do if you're not one of his heralds? Or do you team up with us to like fight everybody? Like.
Maybe, yeah, you know what? No, I'm back in. I am back in on Galactus. I want to give you guys a villain to fight.
Yeah.
I feel like as your friend, you guys need to put a little pressure on Superman and Iron Man to, you know, give you guys,
sure,
yeah, your chance, your moment to shine. So, sure, Galactus, and I'm a herald.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to have to fight an evil space lord to prove our worth to Tony Stark's and
just so everyone knows, I'm going to have the coolest Iron Man costume.
We all pick comic book characters. No,
I know.
I'm pulling the cord on Galactus again. I'm going back to Emmett Brown. That was my choice.
Okay.
All for no doubt, and it came from my thought process of Tony Stark, because I did feel like Tony Stark is too selfish and too destructive, and I wanted the same kind of compliment, which is true brilliance, and I feel like even Doc Brown, when he created the time machine, he was very responsible. Like, he was as responsible as you possibly could be with it.
Sure.
I mean, they had situations that occurred. They really kind of were Marty's fault. Like, in his ambition to destroy the DeLorean was really based on the fact that he was like, this is just too tempting. It's too tempting of a machine. And I know that he kind of blames himself for, in the third movie, running what's-her-face off the ravine, Clara. But anywho... no, I just think that he would do a lot of good for the world, and I think that I could be his buddy, and that would be cool, and I would time travel, but it would be responsible time traveling. It wouldn't be like some of the other guys who created time machines and fuck everything up.
Except that he does do that.
What do you mean?
His tampering in the past causes Marty's parents to potentially not get together.
No. That's Marty's fault.
How is that Marty's fault?
Because he got hit by the car. His mom was driving, and he got hit by the car, and then they dragged.
Okay, you're right.
And they dragged her inside. It had absolutely nothing to do with him. As a matter of fact, he was like, "Be careful where you go, because you could screw with stuff."
Right.
So, like, in the Sports Almanac, is Marty's fault. Everything was really Marty's fault, other than the Clara Ravine situation in the third one, and that was he changed a river. It was named after somebody else.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I think Doc Brown, it was very, he's brilliant. I mean, holy hell, especially when given resources from the future. So like, it's the other thing that was important to me was that he's in present day. Like, he's in our world as we know it.
He's not in 1985 world.
No, exactly. And also, like, you take Tony Stark, and he exists in a world where, like, places aren't real that we have. You know, like, Stark Industries and
they're real to me, Shawn.
But they... like,
they're not real.
They're kind of real. But you could easily...
No, they're not. They're not real.
I saw it on TV.
Yeah. But like Tony Stark builds Stark Industries. So without Tony Stark, there would be no Stark Industries. So you could say that Tony Stark has that same potential to create Stark Industries here, because his knowledge is his power. So he, even though it's a fictional knowledge, his knowledge of an arc reactor is the same knowledge, and he can build an arc reactor, which is the same thought process with Doc Brown. And I was going to pick Doc Brown because he's a senile old man. And if Marty McFly can convince him to be friends with him, I can fucking do it. Because, let's be honest, Marty McFly sucks. Doc Brown. Yeah, Doc Brown is my friend. He builds a time machine. I can go anywhere I want in time and do whatever the fuck I want. And I have free reign of the time-space continuum. as opposed to just Iron Man having free reign of the world.
So do you have like circa Back to the Future 2 DeLorean then that just runs off of banana peels?
Yeah.
But you don't have the DeLorean. He's got to start from the beginning.
Right. So he builds a time machine because he has that knowledge.
Yeah.
And during his time machine building, I'm right there with him. I'm way more involved than Marty was. And I'm like, here's your fucking monkey wrench, Doc. Like, you and me are besties. And he's like, oh, thanks, Tyler. And then he builds a time machine, and then I take it from him. I probably murder him, and then I have a time machine.
Oh, God. You want to kill him? I really want to go help people with this time machine. I was like, he'd be a good guy, and he has good motives.
Then you would have to kill me to get the time machine.
Jeez, wait, no, he's mine.
Right.
You got Iron Man.
Hypothetically.
And I'm not going to show you my Emmett Brown until we've already fixed whatever the fuck you did. Okay. So we're going to go back in time and fix that. I'm going to fix both of your guys as screw-ups, and then you can meet Emmett Brown, maybe. Sure. But he's going to be in one of those, like, Pope cars. Like, I don't trust either of you with it.
Oh, like fully encased in glass, right. Like, isn't allowed to speak to anyone. Yeah, he just sits there waving the whole time.
Man, in my effort to try to protect him.
Yeah. You become the monster. Do you see the conundrum that we've all built?
So complicated. I just wanted you guys not to murder him.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I think that is a pretty good explanation of what we would do if we could bring a fictional person here and who we would bring.
Any honorable mentions?
I did mine. Timmy Turner and the genie from Aladdin, and Doc Brown was one of my honorable mentions. So.
I had Jack Bauer.
No, I thought MacGyver when I was coming up with Iron Man. I was like, man, MacGyver, you can make like a gun out of gum and a shoestring, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I was trying to think of those like nifty people. And
it was Bond / Jack Bauer.
Yeah, I definitely thought of Bond, but again, it didn't do anything for me.
Right. So see, that was my big thing. It's
totally
like,
into this.
If I'm given one opportunity to seize everything I ever wanted, am I going to capture it or am I going to let it slip?
Yeah, I mean, Bond would steal every girlfriend I ever had or would get.
Yeah, moms to get. It's funny because Eminem from 8 Mile was on my honorable mention.
Was he?
No.
Oh man.
So yeah, all right. Well, you can check us out on websites that don't exist yet, or follow us on Twitter at
Pensive Fellow.
That's John, and Shawn's at
Chuck Bonsai 1.
Jesus. And you can find me, Tyler, at TJMalt421. So thank you very much, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Out.